and it is a great pleasure to be here with you. It is early in the morning where I am, but that is it's special. It helps me to stay in a dreaming process with this. So being with you, it feels like a dream. I would like to share some thoughts as I was receiving Joette's invitation. I sat with, what could I say? What could I say? And what an honor to be invited to speak. And what an honor to witness what you have created and what is rippling into the world in terms of integrative practice. I put some words together and I'd like to share them with you. I was feeling into the nature of the program and into what is rippling through you all, what it is that you are creating and co-creating together. So here comes a meditation on flow. Flow. What is flowing through me, through you, through us? What is it that wants to flow? What wants to emerge between and beyond us? At this time, at this pivotal time, what wants to come into the world in service of a higher good? And we are living at a pivotal moment in time. Who are we in relation to the wider world? In the European context, where I find myself here in the northwest of the United Kingdom, there is a sense of a great transition. Western industrialized culture finds itself in an existential crisis. It finds itself realizing what it has created and the devastating ripple effects around the world in terms of pollution and climate change and biodiversity loss, global inequalities in living standards, in health, and in wealth distribution. More and more people are awakening to these realities, and they're questioning the status quo. Not only asking, how did we get here? But more importantly, asking, what can we do? What is ours to do? And such a question immediately begs us to ask, who are we? Who am I? Why am I here? What is my role, my place, my purpose? It is a question that prompts us to feel and to sense more deeply into our soul and our spirit, to align with a higher sense of purpose and possibility, so that our lives may be shining examples of what happens when human beings embody and enact what is true, what is good, and what is beautiful. And we might ask, how can we know what is true and what is good? How can we know this truly inside of ourselves? How can we always live from a place of wisdom and love rather than a place of desire and illusion? Today, the world is filled with so many things that are shiny and alluring, yet so many of them are hollow and empty inside. And at Aleph Trust, we have formed learning communities to inquire into these questions together, to explore the nature of reality, to explore the nature of mind, of body and spirit. We teach, we collaborate, we play together in our master's programs, in our PhDs, and in our community courses. We're inviting joint processes of inquiry, exploring consciousness, spirituality, religion, ecology, psychology. And together we invite a shift in being, welcoming other ways of knowing alongside the intellect. Our rational minds have given us great advancements in technology, in medicine, in education, in the sciences, but they have also in some ways made us poorer in our ways of being and ways of relating to ourselves, to each other, and to the world. As we've become over-identified with our cognitive capacities, our remarkable minds, we have diminished ways of seeing and knowing that are afforded to us by the heart, by our intuition, by our bodies and our hands. And at Aleph Trust, we endeavor to value these other ways of being and knowing, to bring us back into relationship with the greater whole within which we are embedded, our deeper nature, our nature at large. We are nature. And when we invite in these other ways of knowing, we invite in the many intelligences we have access to flow through our being, as we have seen so beautifully in the video just shared. In the world of transpersonal psychology, which is a whole person psychology, honoring the whole of ourselves in entanglement with the world, we call this integrative practice. And integrative practice is really a quest. It is a soul search. It is a kind of dedication to our deepest being. It is a spiritual practice that serves not only us, but the needs of our time. It's calling us to listen to the wisdom of our body, our emotions, our relationships, calling us to sense into what we hold sacred, calling us to honor what wants to come through from beyond. Hearing me speak like this, you might think, Aleph Trust is a church. And yes, it might feel like that sometimes. My words may sound more like a sermon than a speech by a psychologist and an academic. And in Aleph Trust, the spiritual and the academic dance together. We're not a traditional academic institution. In some ways, it may be easier for me to say what Aleph Trust is and is not, because we are trying to be in service of something new that is gradually emerging through each of us in our programs and in our pedagogy. Something is evolving beyond the confines of traditional education. And of course, this program, your program, Joed, is a part of that as well, which is wonderful. Something new is emerging. It is like a movement transforming how we learn, how we research into the human experience, how we relate to the more than human world, and how we value all life alongside human life. So it is a form of artful living that we pursue, weaving theory and ideas together with the lived experience. And in this, we follow the questions that are calling us. Or as the poet Rainer Maria Rilke put it, and I quote, "I would be you as best as I can, to have patience with everything unresolved in your heart, and to try and love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books penned in a language most foreign to you. Don't search for answers now that cannot be given because you could not live them. And it is about living it all. Live the questions now, and perhaps then at some distant point, without realizing it, you will gradually come to live yourself into the answer. End of quote. Living like this opens our minds and our hearts. It opens our senses to a different kind of perceiving with humility, accepting that, yes, we know something of the world and our role in it, and yet we know so little still. Living like this invites this acceptance and a call to live more deeply, more fully in relationship with the world and with the mystery of the core of it all. What is here now between us? What wants to become? What is beckoning outside of the door? What is calling your fine being to do? And these questions take us a lifetime to answer. And our families and our friends, our communities, our ancestors, and all the beings alive with us on this beautiful planet today, they accompany us. They give us clues along the way. Yet at the heart of each of us, there is a great mystery to be lived. Trusting in life's unfolding flow. In transpersonal psychology, we have a research method that is called heuristic research. It is a method that was initiated by a humanistic researcher called Clark Mustakas. And it invites the exploration of human experience, asking not only what is it like to experience this particular feeling or this particular thing or phenomenon, but the method also asks us, what is it like for me to experience this? How do I experience this alongside others? So the method invites researchers to join in the inquiry, to become involved. Self-search and self-discovery form a part of the research process. And so we learn to converse with our deeper nature. And in his writings on heuristic research, Clark Mustakas refers to the modern mystic Michael Rhodes in his classic book, Talking with Nature. I want to read a little quote from this book, just to conclude what I'm saying. Rhodes entered into a dialogue with trees and plants and animals and birds and the earth. And he heard nature speak to him. Help yourself. If you wish to tell the story of our connection, then write from the point of contact which you are. And Rhodes responded, well, how can I write of unseen realities, hint of uncertain concepts, or even demonstrate the practicalities of inner truths without disturbing the slumbering self within? And the answer came, let go and fall into the river. Let the river of life sweep you beyond all aid from old and worn concepts. I will support you, trust me. As you swim from an old consciousness, blind to the higher realities beyond your physical world, trust that I will guide you with care and love into a new stream of consciousness. I will open a new world before you. Can you trust me enough to let go of the known and swim in an unknown current? So the invitation is here for all of us to trust and to swim in this unknown current from the river into the ocean. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.